Hey, everybody, welcome back to the A to Jump podcast. This is episode 28. I'm your host, Jacob, aka Jake, aka Gooba, whatever you want to call me. And I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co host, Justin of Justin Games. How you doing, Justin?
Hello, friends. I'm doing well. Say hello to my cat, Elizabeth, as well.
Hi, Elizabeth.
She's been on one lately. She'll make several appearances, I'm sure.
She loves the spotlight, doesn't she?
She does. She likes to block my second monitor, too. Just lay down, would you?
Oh, no.
Just lay down. Okay, anyway.
She's definitely made a few appearances at this point.
She has. Well, we got a quick turnaround, Jake, because there was some pretty big gaming news. I don't know if you
There
heard.
sure was.
There's been nerdy news galore.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch 2 has been revealed. We got a little trailer. No, nothing too specific, but it was just like showed the hardware and stuff. But we'll go over that. We'll speculate some stuff. Sony or PlayStation does PlayStation things. They've shut down multiple live service projects. We'll talk about those and how much we love live service projects.
Really our favorite genre of gaming, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm going to make Jake guess the top 20 best-selling games of 2024. So that'll be, he won't get most of them, I'm sure. Because I'm looking at the list, I'm like, wow, I never would have guessed that.
I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best.
I think he'll do all right.
Yeah. TikTok
TikTok is down. I don't know if you've caught up on the dozens of Last of Us TikToks I send you.
I think I watched like maybe a week or two ago.
You're probably caught
So
up.
I don't know if there's been more.
I don't think so. I think you're caught up.
Okay.
But with it, a surprise Marvel Snap has gone down. Apparently, both owned by ByteDance.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise to a lot of people. So I don't know. I kind of just went over all that now, so we'll see what happens. I finished some books. So if we've got some time at the end, we'll give some updates on that. Do you also have
I might
some
throw
books?
my yeah, I might throw some book talk in at the end too.
Weird. That doesn't
If we have some time.
That doesn't say got further in the Witcher series. Weird. Okay.
That's next on the list.
Okay, we'll talk about that some other time then.
Yeah.
Okay, but first, what we've been playing. I have played quite a bit more of Metaphor. I meant to go back and see where I left off the last time I talked about it, but I think it was only like 5-10 hours in. I'm about 40 hours in now.
Okay.
I've just gotten to the third city, which is like the Oceanside city. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that is a fun game. It is. It's Persona on drugs. It's the game design is just, or like even like the enemy designs are just weird. They freak me out, and I love it. But the gameplay is super fun. You get like the job system. I know you don't play a lot of JRPGs, but this has like a really in-depth job system where you can be, any character can be a mage, a warrior, a knight, a fighter, a healer, a gunner. Like there's so many fun ones. A thief.
Okay.
So you can play around as much as you want, and I think that's what makes a really good JRPG. Is why I like Final Fantasy VII so much, when you can tinker with materia and stuff like that. But certain archetypes play off of each other. If you have a gunner and a knight, you'll unlock certain abilities for the knight or the gunner. But if you have a gunner and a thief, you'll unlock different abilities for another character. And just being able to play around with those, and you can like inherit skills from other archetypes that you've mastered a little, like leveled up, so you can
Mm-hmm.
take like a healing spell from your healer that you've leveled up to level 10 or something, and you put it on your thief, and that way you've
Mm-hmm.
got healing on your thief and stuff like that. It's really fun. I'm at a place now where I'm like, right now the story is a little, it hasn't developed yet. That's
Mm-hmm.
hard to say when you're 40 hours into a game, but that's the type of game these are. So I think I explained last time, like the prince is cursed. He's going to die unless the main protagonist and his group of friends can get a spell from this big bad. So
Okay.
you're competing with the rest of the country to become king. And it's like the first time this nation has done this, where it's just going to be a competition, and the most popular person wins, can become king.
Okay.
And the big bad is competing for king. We're competing for king, and we need to get close enough to the big bad to steal the spell from him, because he's the one that cursed the prince, I guess. And we can save the prince if we get that spell. A little
Okay.
confusing, but I think it's I think I'm getting to a point where it's going to,
No, yeah, you get.
yeah, it's getting to a point where it's going to get more complex, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um I really like, so Persona kind of does the same thing. They're like, here's your goal. You need to beat this dungeon, or like essentially solve this mystery, and you have 14 days to do it. And you can spend
Okay.
that 14 days however you want. You can level up some relationships, you can go do side quests, you can just fart around. Um, but the main goal would be to like do side quests, level up, do some grinding if you need to, level up your archetypes, and you can essentially, like, you don't have to once you go into the dungeon, you can run around, take your time, and you can leave and like set up camp, and you don't have to finish that dungeon in one day. So you could spend three
Okay.
days doing that dungeon, which I think is really fun, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure to, like, once you start something, you need to finish it. Like that's what the game kind of wants you to do. But
Mm-hmm.
not really the case with Metaphor. Like the one dungeon I did, um, you it had a bunch, like all the NPCs kept telling you there's a bunch of treasure in this tomb or something. So I just
Mm-hmm.
ran around, got all the treasure one day, and like explored the entire map. And then uh, once you get like a little low on healing stuff and your MP gets low, I just left, set up camp, and then went back and fought the big bad and kicked his butt. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really, really good game design. And I'm at a point now where like the next thing I have to do is in like 20 days. So I know it's like a giant undertaking, and I know there's going to be a lot of like grinding and stuff that I need to do. So I'm like making sure I give myself some time. Like when I sit down, I know I have a couple hours to really
Mm-hmm.
chip away at this. So I haven't gone back in a couple days. But what I have been doing is trophy hunting in FF7 Rebirth. And
Okay.
I spent several hours on doing this last night. It was a lot of fun. And I did it on my handy dandy, trusty new PlayStation Portal. Yes,
we
it
have
is.
we have both fallen victim.
We've fallen victim. And I think we said on this podcast, I'm not buying that shit.
So I've thought a lot about this because I knew at some point when this was first announced, I think both of us said, "This is not worth it. I'm not
Yeah,
getting this."
this is
And
stupid.
then a while back, um, when they announced that they were bringing cloud streaming to it, I think it was kind of like I still don't think I'm gonna get it, but they're adding things to it. It's starting to look uh more useful to me. Um, and then you obviously got yours, and then shortly after that they announced a black one. Um, and I'm seeing all these updates of them like, oh, that it outsold Sony's sales expectations, so they're
Yeah.
actually like supporting it. I'm like, damn it. And the black one looks really cool.
It
So
does look cool. I will give you that.
uh so I too am on the Portal train. I don't have mine yet. Comes out in about a month.
Oh, you gotta wait
But
a
I got
while.
it pre-ordered yesterday, so
Nice. Yeah, I liked what
yeah.
you said yesterday when we were texting about it. Where you said it just kind of shows that they're trying to put some more effort into it, and
Yeah.
maybe they'll finally listen. That we really like this and this style of gaming, and this is what we want.
Yeah.
So if they figure out a way for us to, I don't know, stream our games with, I don't know. Well, how they do it with the premium games, you know,
Yeah,
if only
like
we didn't need to have the premium to stream.
yeah.
I'm not really sure what I'm getting at, because either way, you're gonna need Wi-Fi to stream it. So
Hmm.
it's gonna need a whole new piece of hardware to do anything locally. So
Yeah. So my like there's two things that I kind of am hopeful for with the Portal. One is completely unrealistic and I don't expect it at all.
okay,
Which is if they already have the physical, I think that the actual like physical Portal itself is perfect. The fact that it has the DualSense controller on there, like which I think is the best controller on the market.
yeah, I
Like
agree.
genuinely, I love the DualSense. Um, it's got a good screen, it's good size. If there was some way that they could manufacture like essentially just an attachment that included a chip and a motherboard and all the things that were needed to make it a standalone like handheld
Yeah,
that could be attached to the Portal itself, like I don't know, maybe it like clips onto the back of it or something and plugs into the USB-C.
yeah, because the
Like,
bottom. I mean, you probably won't be able to see very well, but the USB-C is like here, the charging
mhm.
port's here rather than under the screen. So I mean, it
Yeah,
could fit. You could fit something right there, and it would still be pretty
yeah.
comfortable.
Because like let's do like a comparison here. Let's
Let's
look at the
compare.
Steam Deck. Like, you know, it's when you look at just the middle part, like it's pretty thin right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not, you know, and this is where all the components are because this just juts out so that you have
Yeah,
more of a
a grip.
handheld. But like if they're able to make this thin, I think with the extra space behind the screen that the Portal has, they could do something to like clasp onto the shell of it and just plug into that USB-C and that be the internals needed to like, it would have a chip and it would have memory and um, like a SSD so that you could store games locally and play them on there. Um,
That would be really cool. I could see them doing something like that. I really could.
yeah, that's my biggest hope, and I don't know how realistic it is. I feel like they would probably rather just design a whole new one, which
Yeah,
is the rumor right now, but it's at least a few years out. That's probably during the PS6
yeah,
era.
definitely.
Now, the other hope that I have for the Portal, which I have heard other people talk about as like just rumors, is that there will be a system where you don't need the PlayStation Premium um, to stream games. If you have games on your Steam library,
PlayStation library.
or not your Steam, your
Yeah.
PlayStation library, um, then you'll be able to stream those through like PlayStation servers. And as long as you own it on PlayStation, you can stream it from their servers.
Okay, so you just
Um,
wouldn't necessarily have to have it installed on your PS5.
yeah,
It's
like if it's in your PlayStation library and you own it, then you would be able to stream it
Correct.
from PlayStation servers to your portal.
So you wouldn't need a PS5. Is what,
Essentially,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what you said. I think you brought
Yeah.
that up last time. We talked about portals. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would
I
be
think I'd
that would be cool.
yeah. But either way, I think for our uses, I think it's a great device. I'm excited to get mine, especially I'm excited to try out traveling with it.
Yeah, that would be
Because
really
I'll
cool.
I'll I'll use it at home also, but I travel all the time, and all the games I want to play are on PlayStation.
Hmm.
So it just makes sense to like if I have the Wi-Fi capabilities, I'm gonna do that the most.
Yeah, and I've had a few hiccups with connection, um, seemingly for no reason because my internet isn't terrible.
Hmm.
But last night I played it for several hours, no hiccups.
Hmm.
But every once in a while, yeah, it's just it's laggy and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
most of the time it runs fine.
Yeah.
As but getting to Final Fantasy VII,
Hmm.
I forgot how much I loved that freaking game.
Yeah.
It is so much fun to play. Yes, even now I'm still laggy. Um, but in order to, this is gonna be kind of hard, again, hard for you to see, Jake. But in order to get one single trophy,
Hmm.
uh, you have to unlock all
Oh
of
no.
these. There's there's 88 of them.
Oh my god.
Um, I've
That's
done
for one trophy.
one trophy. I've done 73 of them.
Oh my god.
Most of them is story stuff. I think at the end of the game, I still had like 60 something,
Hmm.
but most of them involve getting like high scores on all the mini games, unlocking all the Queen's Blood cards, uh, stuff like that. Just getting the most out of the game. But
Hmm.
that's one singular gold trophy is getting all of those unlocked, and
Wow.
then I can't. I just know that's a big thing to chip away at. I can't remember the other trophies I need to get.
Hmm.
One's hard mode, and that's gonna take forever too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so chipping away. It's gonna be a while.
Yep.
But that's what I've been playing,
That's
Jake.
kind of yeah. That's kind of the fun of it though.
Oh, it is.
Is
And it's so much
you
fun
know,
getting back into that game. I played it
yeah.
yesterday for a long time. But what about you, Jake?
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, it's about the same as last episode. I'm still working my way through Ghost of Tsushima, or Tsushima. I still don't fully know how to say it.
I think it's
Um,
Tsushima.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm just got into Act 3, so I'm in like the final part of the game.
Okay.
I've been doing a ton of the side content, which I do like the side content, but some of it can feel pretty grindy. Like, uh, obviously there's clearing enemy outposts and stuff like that. There's side missions, and a lot of that is like go talk to this person here, follow them to this location. Oh, there's bad guys. Let's kill those.
Yep.
Like, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because the combat is really fun once you kind of get the hang of it.
Okay.
And you have all of the different weapons at your disposal. I enjoy it a lot, especially like at the part of the game I'm at now. I've unlocked something called Ghost Stance. And basically what that is if I kill a certain amount of enemies, um, without taking damage, I unlock Ghost Stance, and that basically is like it's um, it's almost like Rage from God of War.
Okay.
Like I turn that on, and immediately like it's the screen goes like uh black and white, um and all of the enemies are now afraid of me, and I just run up and it's just an instant kill on all
Oh,
of
that's
them.
sweet.
And I can do I think I can do up to 3 of those. So it's not like it's not, I can't clear out a base by
Yeah,
that,
can't spam it.
but it's also cool because a lot of the time when you start one of those situations, you can do a standoff where rather than having to go in and start the fight or take out people stealthily, like you can call them out to you, and uh, after a while, you unlock being able to uh, do multiple enemies in quick succession. So it always starts with one person that you face off against. You just have to hold the triangle button and wait for them to attack. And they can kind of try and fake you out, like they can lunge at you. And if you let go of the button, then they'll get their attack off you and you take a ton of damage. Um, but if you wait for like right before they actually strike and let go, it's an instant kill on them. And then all of their buddies will come after them one at a time, and you just have to do the same thing. You have to hit the attack right before they attack you, and it's an instant kill on them. Um, so at the point where I'm at, I can rack up 5 of those, I think. So that's already almost all of my meter for the ghost stance filled. I think I need to get like 2 more kills without taking damage, and then I can do the ghost stance and like basically make myself a killing machine.
That's pretty cool. So you can
Yeah,
not necessarily cheese it, but
kind of. Yeah,
you can wipe out a base pretty easy if you got the combat timing down.
yeah, and it definitely helps with the like making you feel badass aspect of it,
Yeah, it
because
would.
like once you hit that, it's like literally people will start like running away from you at some points.
I mean, I'd
And
run.
yeah,
Don't blame him one bit.
you're like, oh shit, I'm the ghost. Like this is awesome. Um, but yeah, I've been playing that a ton. I wanted to touch on something about that game. So
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out. It came out maybe a month after The Last of Us 2, and I remember one of the topics of conversation around that was that The Last of Us is so depressing and like cold and dreary, and this game is so much more bright and colorful and it's not as sad. And I'm like, okay, now I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but almost every side mission I've done that involves like the enemy has my wife and they took her to this camp or something like that. Almost every single one of those, the family member is dead.
Oh.
Like I think there's one that I can remember where I went to find somebody that was taken or a house that was taken over or something like that. And I can go back to the person and say, your family member is alive. All the other ones are dead
You're
already.
dead. My bad.
And I'm
Wasn't
like,
quick
this
enough.
game is just as sad.
Yeah.
Like, there is not a lot of happiness in either of these games. So
Maybe not with its
I don't.
like its main characters quite like Last of Us, but like all the
Yeah.
side stories are just terrible and
Yeah.
sad.
I mean, there's definitely some main character sadness as well. Probably not as much as The Last of Us, but it's still not a happy game by any means.
I guess maybe it's just like the settings, like Seattle, and it's always so gloomy and rainy
Yeah.
and dark. But Japan is, it's cherry blossoms and pink
Mhm.
flowers falling from the sky, and
Yeah. And there definitely is part of that. There's some times where I'm going around that game, I'm like, God, this is beautiful.
follow a fox and see where it leads you.
I do, yeah. I kind of love and hate the Fox missions. Because all it is for the people who don't know, is you go to a fox den and there's a fox there, and then you follow the fox to a shrine where you honor it and you get some XP. Um, and some of those, they'll take you a long way.
Really?
Like you'll have to climb like up a cliff or like go, across like an entire field, and sometimes there'll be enemies along the way, and you have to like stop and fight them and then continue following the fox. And it's like it's nice, it's a cool mechanic, but sometimes I'm like, I kind of wish I would just find the shrine and not have to follow the fox.
Right. Are we there yet, buddy? Jeez.
Like I'm following you, buddy, but can we speed it up a little bit?
Yeah,
But
Ellie's not following foxes through
no,
forests.
nope.
We know how she feels about dogs.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
We won't.
We don't need to get into that. um, but yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot. Getting near the end of the main game, and I've been doing a lot of the side content along the way, so that I think I am gonna platinum it. And I'm trying to make it so that grind isn't quite as long once I finish the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I've knocked out most of what I can do at this point. Um, but yeah,
That's awesome.
outside of that, the only other thing I've really been playing is a game that I know you have played at least a little bit, is Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Yeah.
Um,
I dislike it because I get the same damn cards every time.
yeah. What so me and Jetpack both started playing it on our holiday trip. We're on the road for a few weeks, and at first I was like, all I did was just I'd open my daily pack. I might do the Wonder Pick, which for people who don't know, it's just a collection of 5 cards and they're all face down. You have to select one and hopefully get the one that you want. But then once Jetpack started playing it, then we actually started doing battles together, and that really got us both more interested in the game. So
Okay.
now it's part of the daily routine. We don't battle every day necessarily, but that's, one of the things we do every day. Get on, open your packs, like check what different like battle events are going on and stuff like that. It's been fun. I think I just got 1,000 cards.
Oh
from that.
wow! You just
Yeah.
started playing it?
Well, I started playing it like a month and a half ago, maybe.
I've been playing it
Um,
since release. Well, not every day. My wife might have more than 1,000 cards, but I think I only have a few hundred.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be surprised how quickly you rack up like the the hourglasses that reduce time to
Yeah.
open packs.
Yep.
Like especially once you start battling.
Okay. You get more
When you
that way.
do the solo battles, or even just the like when you go into the battle section, there's like a tutorial section, and even just from doing those, you unlock a ton of the hourglasses, a ton of the like shop tokens or whatever, which you can use to buy hourglasses and things like that. Um, and I think in a very short amount of time, I jumped up like 400 cards.
Jeez. See,
Yeah.
I haven't done any of the battles. That's something I don't think she's done either. So, I mean, now that we don't have our nightly TikTok routine where we have to scroll through all the TikToks we've sent each other, I'll have to I'll have to get back into that. Maybe we can try battling, because I didn't know you can just battle your friend, whoever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, you can just you go into versus mode, and then there's a way to put in a passcode. So you both just type in the same passcode, it'll connect you that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. She has way better cards than me now, though. Since I stopped. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
satisfying watching her like scroll through her collection or whatever. She's got damn near everything. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. No, but that's been fun. Kind of just a little thing to do on the side. When I'm bored, I'll open that up, see if I have any packs to open, like kind of if there's a quick battle I can do, I'll knock that out. And it's pretty fun. It doesn't, most battles you can finish in like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on like how challenging it is.
Did you get the subscription?
So I signed up for the free trial for it
Mm-hmm.
because I think I immediately unlocked like a pretty good card. I think it was like a Blastoise or something. Um, that came just with signing up for the free trial, but then other than that, like you don't really get a whole lot for it.
Sure.
You get one extra pack to open a day.
Yeah,
Which
that didn't seem quite.
that was
worth.
kind of nice, but
Yeah.
it wasn't really worth. I think it was like $10 a month.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not worth it.
No, that's quite a bit of money.
Yeah. So I did that for the full length of the trial, and then I canceled it. I'm not going to go back to it. Doesn't really seem worth it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the game itself, pretty fun.
Pretty fun. Yeah, I'll have to get back into it. It is fun just opening packs like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, are we ready to move on?
I believe we are.
Okay, so the Switch 2 has officially been revealed. We got a YouTube video that I believe was 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Yep.
So good old Nintendo doing Nintendo things there.
I didn't even realize that till now.
I saw it on a Reddit comment, so I can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it I'll play the trailer, the little video below us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they didn't talk at all. They just kind of showed the Switch 1 kind of transforming into the Switch 2, which I thought was kind of cool. It added like the new ports and showed the new screen size and the new Joy-Cons, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I am. I think that I need to see more about it.
Oh, sure.
Like what? Because the thing about this trailer is it really only showed the physical aspects. It did not talk about specs at all.
Yeah.
It did mention, which is a good thing, that it's fully backwards compatible with the original Switch, with just some exceptions. I'm pretty sure all that's going to be is like the games that had some sort of accessory that was only available on the Switch 1.
Right. Like Ring Fit with the
or like the
thing.
like I know there's I don't think very many games at all use this, but there's like an IR reader on the current Joy-Cons. I don't think that's going to be on the new one.
Right.
But
I think
other than that,
like 1-2 Switch, I think used that.
mm-hmm.
I guess I heard on a podcast that like a certain, I forget which Resident Evil, but if you somehow covered that with your thumb, you could reload.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't be able to play that obscure Resident Evil game. Sorry.
Yeah. But other than that, seems like pretty much your entire Switch catalog should transfer over, which is good.
It'll play physical and digital.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you got, it'll still work, which is good. That was like the number one thing it had to do, or it wasn't going to work.
Yeah. I think of what we know so far, they've addressed at least one thing that everyone was hoping for, which is backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another with solving stick drift. From what it looked like and what I've heard other people say, it looks like the sticks are upgraded on the new Joy-Cons. So hopefully stick drift is a thing of the past, but
hopefully
we don't know.
That was really annoying.
Yeah. I don't think I think I maybe dealt with it a couple of times. I don't think it ever affected me too much, but
really
still
my original gray ones got really bad.
Oh, really?
And then I bought the the orange and purple ones, and it's a little bad, but not. The gray ones are unusable, but I can kind of get past the ones, the orange ones, the drift that the orange one has.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's just more frustrating that it's been what, 8 or 7 years now? 8 years?
8 years.
8 years, and they never had a fix for that.
No.
At least officially.
I mean, you could send them in and get them fixed, but be without your Joy-Cons for probably months. I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like
Or
fun.
you'd have to like physically take it apart and put new like sticks in there.
Yeah. Which
you have to have pretty good technical understanding.
Yeah, I was like, I would do it, but am I just gonna make it worse? Am I gonna ruin it?
Like, am I gonna ruin it by doing this? Which, I mean, I guess the fact that the Joy-Cons are separate from the console and that you can put new ones on there, does help. But it also, like, in order for that not to be super expensive to manufacture Joy-Cons, they kind of have to make them a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. They could just make stuff that works too.
They could. They have the money.
They definitely have money. Nintendo they do all right. So during the trailer, they showed some gameplay of what looks to be a new Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
They showed in like seconds of footage. So
yeah,
I don't know how we can't really draw too many conclusions from it.
Yeah. At first when I showed it, I had the thought, I was like, is this a new Mario Kart? But I also don't know every track on the current Mario Kart, so I was like, this might just be Mario Kart 8 again.
Yep.
For the 11th year in a row. But after further review and like seeing people who were more familiar with Mario Kart talk about it, it looks like the design of Mario is new. They did, at least in the trailer, the design for Donkey Kong is very different.
Yeah, he looked a little
and
weird.
People are not chill with it. And apparently this part is not necessarily exciting for me, but people who play multiplayer probably is. It looks like on the track there's 24 starting spots. Which is leading people to believe that you can now race with up to 24 players.
That sounds chaotic.
Yeah. Because I think right now it's 16 or something?
Oh, I don't know. I've never played online.
I think it's like, I think the total, even if you're just playing, against computers, I think that it's up to 16 racers currently. So making it 24, that's going to be wild.
Another 8, yeah. That does sound nuts.
So,
but Nintendo's so good at game design, like they'll figure out a way to balance everything really well and make it fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that raises the question: new Mario Kart, cool. Like, it's the best selling. Mario Kart 8 is the best selling Switch game by far. It's like half of the people that own a Switch own Mario Kart 8, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. I'm betting a good chunk of those, it came with the console.
Yeah. So, and everybody loves Mario Kart. Like, it's so simple. Grandparents can play Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I could take or leave Mario Kart. So
I like Mario Kart. It's definitely fun if you have people to play with.
Yeah, it's funner with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think too many people are soloing Mario Kart.
Yeah, not very often.
No.
I would say.
But that leads. What other games do you think are gonna be either like launch day or launch window, like maybe within a year of release? What games are you hoping for, or do you think are highly likely?
So, obviously, I think Metroid Prime 4 has got to be nearing release around that time. Which They haven't said anything about release date for this console.
Yeah,
We're not
should
getting
have
more
mentioned that.
information about it until April.
April
There's going to
2nd.
be a direct.
Yep.
Um, the From what I've heard, they're probably looking at around like fall release,
I
like
would
September,
imagine.
October.
Yep.
Like that makes the most sense to me, especially like getting closer to the holidays. Um, if you can release it around that time, it's going to be, you know, that could have the ability to sell as well as like the Wii did back in the day. Like
Easily. Yeah.
people going nuts trying to get that for their kids for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Um, going back to the games that I think are releasing, I don't think we're gonna get a Zelda for a while.
No, no
Um,
Zeldas.
uh, but I do think that we are well overdue for a new 3D Mario.
3D Mario. If that's not a launch title, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to be playing Mario Kart 9, if that's really what it is, and
Mhm.
Mario Odyssey 2 or new 3D title. Like, those are going to be system sellers, and those are probably going to be Switch 2 exclusives. So you can't play them unless you buy the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So,
Which
yeah, that's going to be huge.
yeah. And honestly, um, that's probably gonna be like if there's anything that's gonna make me like want a Switch 2, it's gonna be a new Mario 3D Mario like an Odyssey 2 that is exclusive to the console.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like just because like it is great that it has, you know, the ability to go back and play your old catalog. I do like that a lot. But, you know, the only thing that I use my Switch for is Nintendo exclusive
Yeah. I was
games.
like, I don't play much of my catalog now. So,
Yeah.
and
Like
I'm kind of stuck waiting for new stuff.
yeah. So like as much as I've loved my Switch, you know, I need it needs to have a big selling point for me to want to upgrade.
Yeah. And
Like
it,
and from the specs standpoint, at least from what we've seen so far, you know, they haven't talked about like what the screen is or anything like that. Um, from what it sounds like, people don't think it's going to be an OLED, which I can
that's a
say
miss.
I can say from experience the upgrade from the standard Switch to the OLED was noticeable.
Yeah, I'm
Like
sure.
it was just even though it's still the same resolution, it's so much brighter and
Yeah.
cleaner
Just a
looking.
better screen.
I think because of the way OLEDs are built, they're able to make it like bigger or like with smaller bezels.
Okay.
Um, which it kind of looked like the on the new Switch, the bezels are pretty big too.
Oh, really?
Um,
See, I was thinking they looked pretty
yeah,
small.
at least from what I saw, like
All right, we're getting a live check here.
yeah, we're gonna
Yeah, I guess you're right.
yeah, like they're it's not bad by any means, but it feels like there could have been like that's something that they should have included um to make it feel like a worthwhile upgrade
Hmm.
because if it doesn't have an OLED screen, that leads me to believe that in 2 years there's going to be a Switch 2 OLED and you're going to have to buy a new one again.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, comparatively, yeah, the bezels, I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't look too terrible to me. But the screen
yeah.
itself is much bigger. I mean, it might
Mhm.
be an inch or two bigger than the OLED. So that in itself might be kind of fun. Just to have
Yeah, the bigger screen is definitely nice. I will say I do like the look of it a lot. I
yeah,
like that it's
very
the
sharp
all
looking.
black, but just with the pop of color on the Joy-Cons, I
Yeah,
think is cool.
I think it's very sharp.
Um, but yeah, overall, like I think they're really going to need to impress me with the specs in order to make me even consider a day one um, upgrade to this.
Yeah. For me, it's gonna be what the games are. Like 3D Mario, that's really
Yeah.
tempting. If
Excuse me.
there's a Fire Emblem, a new Fire Emblem day one,
Oh
that's
yeah.
gonna be a big one for me. I love Fire Emblem. Or
Hmm.
I meant to look um, what the Bravely Default team has been up to.
Hmm.
Bravely Default 2 came out several years ago. If there was a new Bravely Default, that would be fun. Um, Obviously new Zelda, but I really don't think that's
I
happening.
think we're at least in the mainline Zelda series.
Yeah, I agree. Zelda isn't happening. Not launch. I mean, there will be a new Zelda on Switch too,
Yeah.
but not a launch. It's Mario's time to shine. Let some other things have it. New Animal
Hmm.
Crossing. That would be
Yeah, that would definitely
that would be smart if they
be cool.
launched day one new 3D Mario, new Animal Crossing, or at
Mhm.
least launch window Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That would be because that's like the second best selling Switch game, and
Oh, it has to
it's
be.
still like 20 million behind Mario Kart 8, but
Yeah.
still,
Which that didn't come out until what, 3 years after the Switch launched?
yeah, 2020,
So yeah.
March of
So
2020.
yeah, that it would if they did do that at launch, that'd be a pretty quick turnaround for them. But I don't know how much more uh you can upgrade in terms of
True,
Animal Crossing. Like,
true.
I mean, no graphics wise, no one's really playing that for graphics.
No,
Like, it's gonna be what you can do in the game compared to in New Horizons.
yep. And nobody can predict Nintendo, so let's not even try.
Yeah.
Um, One cool feature I noticed during the trailer. I mean, they weren't trying to hide nothing, but
Hmm.
it looked like you could take the Joy Cons off and slide them around, kind of like a mouse.
Yeah. So that's what it's seeming like. And so I know for me personally, there's not a whole lot of games that I would use that for,
Yeah,
but for certain like tactics games or like maybe for you for JRPGs, that might be something that you could use. Like it would be useful to have a mouse function.
yeah. Because here's Elizabeth. Um, Blah blah blah. The amount of like PC ports that come to Switch. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's a genius idea just because you can. It's not going to be the most comfortable thing, I wouldn't think, but
Yeah.
because I got Civ 6 on my Switch, and I'm like, I'm going to get into Civilization. I'm going to play the crap out of this,
Hmm.
and it's going to be one of my favorite games of all time. And I played it for like 15 minutes. I'm like, man, this sucks without a mouse. This is not built for a controller.
Yeah.
So games like that, all the like indie games that kind of come over from PC that are built and made for a mouse.
Mhm.
I think it's a really good idea, and I think it could come in handy for a lot of people, especially like even like XCOM. Like I had that on my
Hmm.
Switch, and it's just not made for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just goes back to what we said earlier. It's like if there's a game that releases on Switch but also on other platforms, is the Switch, even the Switch 2, where you're going to go to play that? I think the answer for me is usually no.
For me and you, probably not,
Yeah.
but for maybe more casual gamer, I could see that for sure.
Okay.
Someone
Yeah,
who
that's
doesn't
valid.
have a PC that can play anything.
Hmm.
Someone who only has a Switch and sees, I don't know, like a game like Civ or some of the other games that could really benefit from a mouse.
That's valid. I think I need to remind myself that not everyone is as nerdy as we are.
Yeah, I have to
And
remind myself that too. Like the casual gamer exists,
mhm.
one that doesn't follow every leak and release and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, there's a mystery button. There's another button on the right hand Joy-Con that's underneath the
Yeah.
home button. Apparently, nobody
Hmm.
knows what that does. I mean, obviously, nobody knows what that does, but people are speculating what it does. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. I heard on a podcast where you can cast it from your Switch to the TV without a dock. I think that's kind of dumb. I don't I don't see that being used very much.
Yeah.
If you want it on
Like,
your TV, just dock it. But
I think people are trying to say that it'd be like a Wii U
yeah, like a
capability. So like,
dual screen gaming.
yeah, which I suppose that would be cool. I mean, I don't know how often you could use that, but
I don't
like,
know. My guess is it's I don't know, something really random that Nintendo thinks is cool and nobody will use.
yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. Um I don't want to come off like sounding negative about this. Like, this is something we've been talking about for years at this point.
Yeah.
Um but when the first Switch was announced, um I was so excited because it was announced with a new, I think the game that was showed during the thing was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu,
Oh yeah.
which I really enjoyed. I
Hmm.
liked that one a lot. But just the excitement of having a home console that you could take with you and play exactly the same um, was really cool. And I
Yeah.
think it's a great idea that they just took that model and upgraded some things on it for the Switch too. Like,
Yep.
I think that's so smart. But with that said, I didn't feel like as excited when I saw this announcement. I was just like, okay, cool.
We knew it
Like,
was coming. Like
yeah.
when the Switch released, we didn't know what Nintendo was gonna do. They just
Mhm.
had a really shitty release with the Wii U. I think it just took a lot of us by surprise because I don't think you were much of a Nintendo gamer like back in high school and stuff.
Not really, no.
Yeah, me
I mean,
neither. Like we both fell off because
yeah.
Call of Duty and Sports was on Xbox, so we didn't
Yeah.
need our childish Nintendo games anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it was a
Like,
big surprise to everybody that the Switch was so cool.
yeah. And I mean, cuz I've always loved, the Nintendo games from my childhood, like, Mario 64, Mario Kart,
Yeah,
um 007, GoldenEye, like those are all, I look back on all of those fondly, but it wasn't until the Switch 1 that I really ever wanted to revisit Nintendo.
yeah,
And it
same.
was because of, games like Mario Odyssey and eventually Breath of the Wild. Like they definitely kind of rebuilt their fan base
Definitely.
around the Switch.
Because I think I mean
Um,
you had the Wii, but it's like
yeah,
we played Wii Sports. That was
yeah,
it.
that was the Wii was definitely. I mean, I loved the Wii. It was fun for like a few months
Yeah,
because all we did on it was play Wii Sports.
yeah,
Like, I think I even had Mario Kart Wii, and we had the wheel for it, and I didn't like it.
yeah.
Like,
I don't think we liked it either.
I never really was a fan of like the tilt mechanics or anything.
Hmm.
Um, so like those were all fun, and I look back on them fondly, but they weren't something that I cared to go back and play. Where the Switch, especially with like Mario Odyssey, I did want to keep playing that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think after the
So
GameCube, I don't think I owned anything. I think I had a Wii for a little bit, and then I just gave it back to GameStop and traded it in for something
yeah,
else.
Well, you were a pretty big um, Mario Sunshine guy on the GameCube, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. When I was, I mean yeah, when I was little, and then
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever actually beat it. So
Yeah.
that I think when we found out when you had the Wii that I could play GameCube games, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's when we brought it to your house, and that way we could actually beat it.
Yeah. Well, I grew up uh, playing Mario or Super Mario 64 all the time. I considered it one of my favorite games from my childhood. I didn't beat it until the um what was it called? Like the Super Mario All Stars
Oh yeah,
whatever. Um that had that Sunshine and Galaxy on there.
Galaxy. Yeah,
I didn't beat Mario 64 until that came out and I played it on Switch.
I don't remember beating many games at all when I was a kid. Like we were kids. We
Yeah.
didn't nobody we didn't have parents helping us get through games. Like
Yeah.
we I never beat anything.
Yeah, games were hard
They
when we
were.
were kids.
We didn't know what to do. Just dumb kids.
Yeah.
All
So,
right. Any
I don't know.
more pressing thoughts before we guess the price here?
Um I feel like I went on a pretty long
Yeah, I know, right?
tangent there. Basically my whole mentality on this is I'm gonna wait on it unless there's an exclusive game I really care about,
Yep.
which is gonna have to be a Mario.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any other series within reason um, releasing an exclusive game within the first couple years.
Yeah. For me, it would have to be like a Fire Emblem.
Hmm.
I love 3D Mario, but
Yeah.
to me, it's not a console seller for me. A Fire
Hmm.
Emblem would be though.
Yeah.
But all right, price. Throw out your guess. I'm gonna write it down, and we're gonna compare.
My guess, I think I might kind of be lowballing here,
Ooh.
but it's more than the original Switch. I think I'm going 400.
400. That was my guess. 399.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're
Like
both 399.
I've thought about this a lot, and the current gen consoles being the PS5 and the Series X, like both selling for 500.
Mm-hmm.
They could try and push that to compete with those, but you're not. I don't think like hardware wise you're going to be competing with the PS5.
No, I think it being as expensive as a PS5 is kind of ridiculous, and
Hmm.
yeah, I don't like you said doesn't really measure up. But the Switch OLED is 350,
Yeah.
and the original Switch was 300. So I could see this being 400. I could see it being 450.
Yeah.
Um, for competitiveness, I'm gonna say 449.99.
Yeah.
I could
I
see
think
it
that's
happening.
fair.
I think both are very possible. I think 400 is a
Yeah.
little more likely, but
Yeah. One of the things that I heard somebody on a YouTube video say is like there's no world where I see it being um below 350
mhm,
or above 450.
yeah.
So I think it was like it's going to be in that
Yep.
range somewhere.
I think anything more is a mistake, and they won't sell as many.
Hmm.
Anything less is unrealistic on our
Yeah.
end.
Hmm.
And Nintendo notoriously does not lose money on consoles. Like PlayStation, Xbox, I guess they'll sell consoles at a loss because they feel like they can make up for it in software sales.
Hmm.
But Nintendo does not do that apparently. They just sell at cost.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's. I don't know where I was going to go with that.
Okay.
I don't think you know, I don't think that they're gonna save us any money, and like
No.
they're gonna make their money on it.
Yep.
But I think they're also gonna be realistic. Like, you're not, spec wise, it's not gonna compare to current gen consoles, so you can't charge as much as they're
Yeah,
charging.
they're not gonna charge 500 for it. Well, all right. Switch 2, it's gonna be cool. Stay tuned. April 2nd,
Yeah.
we'll know more. That'll be a fun. I'm excited for that. I'll be more excited for that than I was for this reveal, just to learn more.
Yeah.
We got some news yesterday or a couple days ago. I don't remember, but recent news that Sony has shut down 2 live service games,
Mm-hmm.
including a live service God of War and another live service title from Sony, Bend. Bend was the one that made Days Gone. You might remember from several years ago. Apparently, the live service God of War was being made by Bluepoint, which we talked about 1 or 2 episodes ago. We were wondering what they were doing because
Mm-hmm.
they've had a really good track record. Apparently, Sony put them in charge of a crazy live service God of War that nobody asked for. Well, luckily that's been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So GameSpot published an article. I'll put it in the description that you guys can read. Basically, just kind of going through all of Sony's planned, I said canceled, released, and shut down live service games. So, Helldivers 2 is at the top of this list because, well, it's Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the next segment. It was the number 3 best-selling game of 2024. Which
That doesn't surprise me too much.
It's crazy. And I got an email. I guess they're releasing a controller, a Helldivers.
Oh,
controller.
really?
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
Okay.
So if you're really into Helldivers, that'd be fun. But that Helldivers, pretty good. It went well. It's the rare win.
Mm-hmm.
Next on the list is Concord,
Which was not a rare win.
Not a rare win. It was the common laws. Apparently, it only sold 25,000 copies, which I guess is low.
Yeah.
I don't know, that sounds kind of high to me, but it's not the millions of.
Well, compared to Helldivers 12 million, that's a pretty low.
Yep. Okay.
Pretty low bar.
Like, how many indie games? How many copies of indie games do you think sell?
I mean,
I know it's
the
a
really
little different, but
I think it varies.
do you think? I don't know. It's great. It's just weird. Do you think? Trying to think of a random indie game. This is hard. Like Crow Country, that random Resident Evil like game. You think that sold 25,000 copies? Who knows?
I don't know.
That's just weird to think about.
Now I'm curious though.
Yeah. If you find something, go ahead and shut it up. But yeah, Concord, massive failure. I think that's about it for things that have already come out. Next, we're into Fair Games, and I think we've seen a trailer for this. Apparently, this.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, it's a heist game. I don't know. Probably gonna suck.
Yeah. So, quick tangent to our previous conversation. Crow Country, as of October, has sold 100,000 copies.
Okay. 4 times better than Concord.
Yeah.
But $100,000 to a small or 100,000 copies sold to a small time indie company is way different than 100,000 copies sold to from like Sony.
Yeah.
Because money.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably talked about Concord in the past, but the fact that they sold it for, you know, a live service game that I cannot tell you how much I did not care about it when it was announced. Um, it just looked like a Guardians of the Galaxy wannabe. To sell that for $40 after spending $400 million developing it.
In like 8 or 9 years, something like that.
Yeah. When most of the like most popular games of that genre, being hero shooters, are free. Like Overwatch, I think is probably the most popular uh in this group of games. It was is free or was for a long time.
Yeah, Overwatch, Fortnite, um, Apex, but
Valorant.
Helldivers 2 costs $40.
Yeah, but there's like
It's about vibes. Like nobody wants
yeah,
another cheesy space shooter. Like Helldivers is different.
yeah. Especially like I think there's something to be said about like this being a hero shooter where the characters are like, people, I think people have to like the characters and their different abilities and kind of pick their favorite or whatever. And nobody cared about any of these characters. Where Helldivers, you know, you don't have to worry about that. You're a soldier, and it's more about the gameplay and, you know, playing with your friends than it is about like having different roles and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. I agree. That's a big difference. Vibes, you know,
Yeah, mainly, yeah.
because I mean, it's just that style of I don't know game direction or media in general. This with the Guardians of the Galaxy humor and the '80s
Yeah.
soundtrack. We're done. It's over.
Yeah, that's it. It was fun while it lasted. We don't need any more.
Yep. This next one I might be a little bit biased because it's a combination of two of my favorite games. Horizon. It was always rumored that it's getting like a Monster Hunter type um, MMO,
Mm-hmm.
which MMO usually kind of scares people. But if they can do it right, kind of like Monster Hunter because it is an MMO in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think this formula could work so well
Yeah.
because you go out on hunts with randoms or your friends, just like in Monster Hunter, take down these awesome robots. I mean, they could get creative as hell with new robots and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
armor designs are already super cool. So they could um, they could make some new Jesus new armors that are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this would be a lot of fun for me. I
Yeah.
don't know how well it would do for other people, but yeah, I think it would be really fun.
Yeah. I think for fans of Horizon, um, this would be really cool. I think it would kind of come down to like what new things they can add to it.
Yeah,
Um, like especially if they're adding new monsters or adding new abilities and stuff like that. I think that's what's going to set it apart from um, just the regular Horizon games. Like
yeah, it's an
obviously MMOs play differently,
yeah.
but
I think it's the monster hunting genre is niche enough and kind of cornered by Monster Hunter. I mean, we had Wild Hearts a couple years ago that I haven't
mm-hmm,
I haven't tried, but it was like the most direct competitor to Monster Hunter. And
mm-hmm,
Horizon on its own, I mean, like Forbidden West, you want to upgrade your gear, you've got to go out and you've got to find a certain monster, and hopefully you get the drop that you need
mm-hmm.
and be able to upgrade your armor that way. You're not building weapons that way, you're upgrading them. But so, I mean, the bones are there. I could see them really fleshing it out and it being really successful for the Monster
Yeah,
Hunter fans. You know, someone like you, I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I mean, most likely it's not going to be for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that if they do it well, there could be a ton of carryover from not only Horizon fans but Monster Hunter fans.
Yeah, a good
Because they are,
merging.
like they have the ability to be pretty similar in play style.
Definitely. Yeah, I see
So,
the similarities
mhm.
a lot.
So we'll see. That one, at least as of right now, uh has not been canceled. It also hasn't been officially announced.
No, that's
So,
just been nothing but rumors for years.
mhm. Yeah,
So I hope it's true.
yeah,
Bungie, I kind of forget that PlayStation acquired Bungie,
yeah.
and I want to like Destiny so bad. I've said this before. So I don't know. Marathon is their new game. If it's free, I might like really try to give it a good shot.
Hmm.
I don't know why Bungie kind of fascinates me. I think they're cool game
Yeah, I
makers.
mean, Destiny, it always just kind of feels like the a successful game that still flies under the radar.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I have tried it on multiple occasions in the past. It's never really been for me.
Mhm.
Um, but I know it still has a very loyal fan base. Like I know people who continuously play all of the new expansions and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and if they're able to take that success and put it into Marathon, but maybe make it more accessible for people who don't really care as much about looter shooters,
Hmm.
more power to you.
Yep. That should be. I could see that being successful. I could see that
Hmm.
on a Helldivers level.
Yeah.
Maybe not 12 million, but whatever. And now I believe we move on to the canceled ones. The God of
Hmm.
War live service game. This would have been a disaster. You know,
I
a complete disaster.
I have so many thoughts on this, and none of them are positive.
Yeah, it's
Not about the cancellation, about the fact that this was even an idea, because God of War is so not built for live service.
no.
It is a single player, like action adventure game to a T. Like I don't even know what you would do in live service in this.
So
Like,
like we compare this with Horizon. Like Horizon could be built perfectly for a multiplayer game with like a monster hunting genre. But yeah,
mhm.
like you said, what would you even do in a God of War? Just go beat up certain bosses together?
I mean, yeah, I guess, or like it just, the fun of playing God of War is figuring out a way to beat these big bosses or beat this huge horde of enemies by like getting creative. Get like there's literally a part in the game where you go through like a gauntlet of different enemies and you have a time limit. You have to either, kill all of them within this time limit or survive for a certain amount of time. Like that is in the base game. Like you don't, and you can do it by yourself. Like you technically have
Yeah.
Atreus with you to kind of offer support, but you're playing it by yourself,
Yeah.
and it's fine. I would argue to say it's better than fine.
Yeah. It's quite good. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't think you need a co-op aspect of it.
no.
Like,
And you would
and especially
sorry, finish your thing.
like with live service, like what new things are you adding to it to make it
Yeah.
like if you're gonna want to keep adding in like new bosses or new areas or whatever, just make those DLC like
Exactly. That
for the
would
base game.
those would sell better than an MMO or a
Yeah.
live service God of War, whatever.
Yeah. For
Um
God of War fans, it's live service is not the way to go.
no. and you would know God of War better than me, but in like the lore of Horizon, we have all these tribes. Aloy's like part of her journey is going around making friends, uh, getting these tribes to stop fighting and join together and solve some of their differences. I think
Hmm.
that works in that could work in a multiplayer style game. Whereas God of
Yeah.
War, like Kratos, he don't give a shit about anybody. Just leave me
Yeah.
alone. I mean, he has friends, but I just don't think it. I don't know. I don't see how Kratos is coming together with a bunch of. I don't know. Maybe it does, but
Yeah.
still, it just feels different. It just feels so different.
Yeah. Story wise, if they're gonna add a story aspect to it and you're playing as Kratos, there's not a I don't see a way where you can have like a large network of characters that all interact with Kratos.
Yeah,
Like it's like you said, he has friends and like there are times where they come together and fight, but it's like 5 people. Like Kratos is not a social person,
no,
and
because
for him to
I could see in Horizon you creating your own character, picking what tribe
mhm,
you're from, and that like dictates what your starting armor looks like and what your starting weapon is and stuff like that. Whereas in like a God of War live service, I could see you playing it. You could pick Kratos or Atreus or Brock or Sindri or Freya, and you just pick from a limited roster of 10 characters, and
mhm.
that's all you get to do. Whereas Horizon, I think you could get way more creative and way more
Yeah,
detailed and fun that way. I think
you can
that's the main
build your
difference.
own
Yeah,
character
yeah. I don't think
where
that
like
fits in a God of War world.
no, because in many ways, like there's a lot of different kind of creatures in God of War that are powerful in their own right, but really it's Kratos is the one who has all of the different abilities that you want to use.
Yeah,
So like it's
he's a
you can't just
god.
take a random person and say, "All right, you are now fighting in this world where everything can kill you."
Yeah,
Um you are not a demigod. Um
yeah. You have no
like or
powers.
you're not a Valkyrie, like
Hmm. I mean,
unless they give you like a class to choose from. But even
yeah,
then, it's like, you know, there's a pretty limited group of people who can survive in this world
yeah.
in that type of setting.
That doesn't sound fun to me. I don't want to pick a class. I want to
No,
go out and kill the monsters or the robots and create my own class based off of that.
yeah,
And it just fits the narrative of a Horizon more than it does a God of War to me.
yeah. And especially like when I think about ways that they can expand on God of War, like I think them doing the Valhalla DLC,
Yeah, that was
I
smart.
think that was
That
perfect.
was smart.
Like, because it's not, you know, it's not like a co-op thing or like a something where you have to um, do it online. It's literally, they were able to build a roguelike into the story of God of War and make it fit.
Hmm.
Like Kratos is going through this gauntlet to make it to Valhalla, and the way that the gauntlet works is a roguelike. And they were able to build story aspects into it that fit and are actually something that players care about seeing. Because, you know, outside of the combat, people care about the story of God of War.
Yeah.
So they were able to build on the story with a gameplay mechanic that makes sense in this world. Live service doesn't do that.
It just
Like,
doesn't.
yeah.
This
I don't
doesn't.
know. I could probably talk for 7 hours about how bad of an idea this was.
Yeah, right.
Um, but clearly they've figured that out because this is not a thing anymore.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right, next, and joining us is Queen Elizabeth. Um,
Your Majesty.
she's named after Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, which is my wife's favorite book/movie.
Okay.
But I've taken a call on her Queen Elizabeth because she runs this house,
Yeah.
as you can see.
As many pets do.
Yeah, especially this cat. Um, Next was Naughty Dog's uh, Last of Us Online.
Hmm.
This was canceled like kind of recently, I think. But
Uh, about a year ago now, I
yeah,
think.
okay. Last of Us 1 had an online mode, right? And I think this was just kind of them doing that again.
So it was, but it was also kind of expanding on it from the sounds of it. So the Last of Us 1 online mode was called Factions,
All right.
and it basically played like a standard multiplayer shooter. Probably most people would relate it to like Gears of War,
Okay.
with the way it was played. I never really got into it. I maybe jumped into a few rounds. It wasn't for me.
Sure.
But a lot of people really liked it and were pretty bummed when The Last of Us 2 came out and there was no multiplayer um ever even in the works for it.
Yeah.
Um and then obviously The Last of Us Part 1, the remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, came out and there wasn't factions in that either. So people were pretty upset about that. Then it was announced that they were working on a standalone multiplayer Last of Us, um, that sounded like it was going to be more than just the standard factions. Like, it wasn't going to be like rounds where you go into an arena and just first to 20 kills or whatever it was. Like, it was going to be more of like a live service game with like an open world aspect to it, maybe.
Okay.
um so it was almost like a survival. Like, I don't know if this fits the term MMO, but it sounded like it was kind of leaning towards that. um and it was going to have story aspects to it. And it was going to be in a new city. But yeah, after maybe like 2 years after it was announced, they came back and said that they were scrapping it altogether.
I could have seen this working.
Yeah,
There
I
were
mean,
fans of factions, but I would rather let them work on their single player stuff for sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm all for if they wanted to put resources into just adding factions to The Last of Us 2.
Hmm.
Um, because I know, even though it's not for me, I know a lot of people like it, and if that's something that they can reasonably put together, um, that people are gonna enjoy, just go for it. Just add it to the current game. I don't think you needed to make this whole side thing and make it like its own story and its own game. Like, I don't think anyone I think people would much rather just have the option to play those modes in the current games and then you get back to work on the next in the series.
Yeah.
Like, and they did sort of add, it's not multiplayer, but they added the no return mode to part 2 remastered, which I think was kind of like something in the same vein that people could enjoy. Um, because it was a mode that it wasn't just playing through the story again. Like, it was a mode where you could pick your player, and it was constantly changing. It was
Yeah.
a random.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that was a good idea.
yeah. I like that they did that. But I think overall it would have been better for them to just never even try and make this its own game. Just add the multiplayer to the base game, um, so that the people who enjoy it can still continue playing that and then just focus on the next game in the series.
Yep. Yeah. I I trust Naughty Dog. Whatever they're gonna make is probably gonna be really good.
Yeah, I mean, Intergalactic looks great. I'm really excited to see more on that. There is some speculation that they're working on two games right now, being Intergalactic and Last of Us 3.
Of course they are.
Um,
That's pretty obvious, I
I
think.
yeah, I mean, Naughty Dog is a big studio now. So I could definitely see them working on both at the same time. I still think it's going to be several years before we see anything on Last of Us 3.
Oh yeah, several.
I think all the
several
resources
years.
are still going to go to getting Intergalactic out there. We maybe see that next year. Um, and then Last of Us 3 probably doesn't even get announced for another year after that.
Oh, easily. I agree. I mean, whatever Naughty Dog was gonna make, they probably would have put a lot of care into it, but we'll never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We're gonna fly through these next ones because they're kind of unimportant. Ben's
Yeah.
studio's been quiet since Days Gone. I guess they wanted a sequel, didn't get it, but I guess they were working on some sort of live service game that's now been canned.
Yeah.
Deviation Games Project, never even heard of it. Founded by Call of Duty veterans Dave Anthony and Jason Blundell, something. That was canceled. Okay, Twisted Metal. Apparently, they were gonna make an MMO or a live service game. I'm not sure what the difference is. Canceled. London Studio was working on something. Canceled and closed. That studio no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
And how about another just fart of a game? Spider-Man: The Great Web, which I had never heard of until this article. And I guess it was just reported. A Spider-Man live service game where 5 of you would face off against the Sinister Six in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it makes more sense to me than God of War live service does.
Yeah, I agree.
I still don't care. Like, I would much rather them put out a DLC for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. I know there's a market for live service games and for multiplayer games. That's not me.
No, there's a market for a couple. Like
Yeah.
a few. Not
Yeah. And
7 million.
I think the people who enjoy the Spider-Man games like the fact that it's single player and
Yeah.
you are fighting, you might have a section where you and Miles are fighting together or something, but it's always you, like, it's a single player game. You're the one figuring out how to beat all these enemies or how to get through this encounter. Like, would it be cool to, be able to go in with a team of Spider-Man and, like, fight all the big bad guys together? Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it adds to the game.
Yeah. And most of us bought a PlayStation for the exclusives. Most of the
Yeah.
exclusives are single player and they sell well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most of us are fine just playing our single player games.
Yeah.
PlayStation, Sony. Listen.
Yeah.
But that's it for that article. I guess that's everything. They dodged a bullet with that God of War. That would have been bad.
I would have been so mad that they had even put resources towards that, which, like, it wasn't Santa Monica making that, it was Blue Point. But that also
Still.
takes Blue Point away from
Yeah.
making games that they've been really successful at, which is remakes of other titles. Like, I don't know. There's rumors, like, I mean, I think this is just people's wishful thinking, that Blue Point will now move on to making a Bloodborne
Oh yeah.
remake.
Yeah, that's very
because-
wishful thinking.
because people love Bloodborne and Sony has done nothing with it. Um, so if they did do that, I think that would be a much more useful use of time. But
Yep.
like, yeah, the the fact that they were tasked with making a God of War live service game will never make sense to me, and
No.
I'm mad that they put even any time into that
Yeah.
idea.
Probably took years off. Who knows? It might have been half done. But again, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. let's move on.
So I did add something into
Oh yeah. Sorry,
our checklist
I did
here,
see that.
because I just saw this yesterday. There was a new Astrobot speedrun level that was shown at some PlayStation tournament over the weekend.
Yeah.
Um, I still don't. I've seen video of it. I still don't know if it's. I assume it's going to be released to the public. I don't know why they would
Yeah, you would think.
just create this level for this one tournament and let no one else play it.
Yeah.
But it's a speed run level, so it's going to be like a challenge, and it looks like it's, all of the speed run levels so far have been focused on one of Astro's special abilities, whether it be like the
Right.
like the frog hands or whatever,
Yeah.
or like the
Puppy chicken.
yeah, like all of those different ones. It looks like this one's gonna be the time freeze
Yeah.
ability, which is one of my favorites from the main game.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up. I just saw that, I think, last night on Twitter or something. But
Yeah.
that looks fun. I'm excited. Hopefully that will release for everyone pretty soon, because any excuse to go back to Astrobot, I'm all for it.
I agree. And another speed run level that I can beat you at.
All right. I haven't had the chance to go back and reclaim my title, but I will.
Of the one level. Don't look at
Which
the other.
level was it? I don't even
I don't
remember.
Don't look at the other 5. So you can't check.
The only
those.
one that I feel even remotely confident in is, I think it's is it the elephant? The one where you can make like the little ice
Yeah.
ramp or whatever.
Yep.
I feel pretty good about that one. Other than that, like, I think I barely make it in the time frame to unlock both bots.
Yeah, I did them once to get the bot so I could get the trophy or get just unlock the bots.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a trophy for those ones, but still.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, any excuse for more Astrobot is fine with me.
Yep.
All right, Jake, the top 20 best-selling games of 2024. I believe there's some stipulations to this. This only includes sales numbers through November.
Okay.
December's list is probably coming out this month, but it wasn't out yet when I looked.
Okay.
I think Nintendo Switch does not report their digital sales.
Okay.
And I think Xbox is a little delayed on their digital sales reporting, so that doesn't include like October's digital sales. I think October, November digital sales. But all right.
Okay.
Having said all that, what
Okay.
we know, Helldivers 2 was third. That's your free space.
Okay.
Start throwing something out. What do you got?
All right. So first of all, do I have to do these in order?
No.
Because I
No.
don't think I can
Just
do that.
Just guess as many as you can.
And is this all games that released in 2024 or just total sales?
Total sales. There are a few that did not release this year.
So total sales, I feel like this game still sells probably 1 million every year. Minecraft.
Yes, is number 18.
Okay. I figured that had to be on there.
Can you try to guess
Um,
number one? Do you think you can guess
number
number one?
one.
Hint, it surprised me,
Okay.
but it
Hmm.
probably shouldn't have.
I know the Black Myth sold a lot. I
Okay.
don't know if it was enough to be number one. Hold on. What can I just look up like what games released this
Sure.
year?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I figured that's gonna be most of what's on that list.
This might be just US sales.
Okay.
It might be another hint for you.
Let's see here. Oh, Pal World.
Nope.
Damn. All right. See, I'm trying to think of like what games. Like, I'm sure that there's some of the games I'm thinking of. I'm sure sold pretty well, but I don't know if they made like if they were enough to sell the most.
Right. You
Um,
you played the number one selling game.
I did.
You did.
Is it Balatro?
Nope. And that's not even. Yeah, that's not on the top 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh, what games did I play this year? um, it can't be college football, is it?
It is College Football 25.
No way.
It's the top selling game of
Oh my
2024.
god.
I was shocked, but I guess I shouldn't have been because it was the first NCAA football game to release in a decade or something like that. Longer?
Yeah, I think 2014, which actually released in 2013, so it's been more than a decade
Yeah.
now.
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
You're missing an obvious one.
Um,
Always one of the best selling games of the year. Every single year.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is number 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was number 5. So was that
Really?
last year's Call of Duty?
That was last year's, which I'm surprised that. I mean, I guess
Just because it came out in December, so or
did it?
November or something.
Yeah. So there's
So
probably a lot of people who buy it after
getting it
the
for
holidays,
getting it in
or
January.
after the new year.
Yeah, so that's probably
Yeah.
why.
So that makes sense, I
So
suppose.
Black Ops 6 might be in the top 5 next year too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 4 you will never guess is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Really?
Yes. This is
I
from
mean, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
this list is from it used to be known as NPD, something like that.
Mhm.
So I promise this is a reputable list. It's a little surprising though to me for sure. Sports. Think sports.
Madden.
Madden 25 was number 6.
Um, let's see here. I'm gonna go Stellar Blade.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Black
Let's
Myth
see.
Wukong
Let's see.
isn't
Let's
on
see.
this either.
It's really
Nope.
okay. So that leads me to believe that this is only U.S. then, because I think that
Probably,
one
yeah.
sold like 10 million plus
Yeah, just
in China.
China.
See, my brain just keeps going to major releases from this year when I know it's not all that.
Yeah, let's see. There's at least a couple more like RPGs from this year. EA Sports FC 25, which is the soccer.
The soccer one,
That
right?
was number 7. Number 8 is the EA Sports MVP bundle, which was Madden 25 and College Football 25. So
That seems like kind of cheating.
big year for EA in the
Yeah.
football. Let's see. Now we're kind of into WWE 2K24 was number 12. NBA 2K24 was number 17, and Madden 24, last year's Madden, was number 19.
I forget how many people play like exclusively sports games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
So 1, 2, 3, 4. MLB The Show 24 was number 11. 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8
so
of the
pretty much all the sports games
yeah 8 of the top
are
20
in there. Wow. Okay. So how many left do I have?
Let's see. There's let's see. I don't think you're gonna guess these. Elden Ring was number 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think that because the DLC came out this year, so there's probably a good amount of people who bought that for the DLC
I didn't know there was a
if
DLC.
they hadn't played the game yet. Was the Shadow of the Erd Tree, the one that was up for Game of the Year?
Oh yeah, my bad. My brain. I was looking at the next game.
No, you're good.
My brain got lost. Yeah, I knew it's Shadow of the Erd Tree. I've heard of it. My bad.
Yeah, we're familiar.
I was looking at this next game, which is Hogwarts Legacy. That was number 13.
Really?
Yeah, number 13.
Because that was,
it's like 2 years old.
Well,
at this
I
point,
guess-
isn't it?
yeah, that came out in like February of 2023.
Weird.
Because, like, and I mean, I assumed that there was still getting sales, but enough to be in the top 20
Yeah.
over almost 2 years after release. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Surprise to nobody, Grand Theft Auto 5 was number 14.
God, that game, like, Rockstar just will never stop making money.
Nope, they will not. Tekken 8 was number 16.
Okay.
Now
I know there's a lot of fighter fans.
Marvel Spider-Man 2 was number 20.
Okay. Yeah. I suppose that came out late enough in the year that the sales could have carried over.
Yeah. Now there's 2.
Also, I think they might have released it on PC this year.
Yeah, that might be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there's 2 left. Number 10 and number 15. They're both
Okay.
RPGs, and they both came out this year.
Okay. I'm going to try and guess these because I feel like you've given me a lot of the answers so far. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yep, 15.
Okay. So I knew that one didn't sell like
Yeah.
super well, but I knew it sold like it
Well
had
enough,
to have
yeah.
sold a good amount. Okay, so the number 10 you
Number
said?
10, yep.
Ooh. Was it a game that released in 2024?
Yep.
Okay.
It's an RPG. It's a sequel.
Okay. It's not Metaphor, is it?
No.
Okay.
I am surprised Metaphor's not on here.
I'm surprised that, well, I know. Actually, I am surprised that Astrobot's not on there either.
You know what? This list might be bullshit. No, I don't know.
It's Game of the Year. What the heck?
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma 2?
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Really?
Yep, it was number 10.
Okay.
You did it. Okay,
All
so
right. Well,
starting at number 1, College Football 25, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Dragon Ball Sparking 0, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, NFL 25, EA Sports FC 25, EA Sports MVP Bundle, Elden Ring, Dragon's Dogma 2, MLB The Show 24, WWE 2K 24, Hogwarts Legacy, Grand Theft Auto 5, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Tekken 8, NBA 2K24, Minecraft, NFL Madden 24, and Marvel Spider-Man 2.
okay. So you were correct. I did not,
Yeah.
I would not have guessed most of those.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty diverse list. I don't know how many I would have gotten either.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just need to remember that not all people who play video games are so into video games that we are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I didn't think about, you know, I know people who only play sports games
Yeah.
and will buy the new one every year.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why I didn't think about that.
The
Um,
extreme percentage of people play sports and Call of Duty. That's
yeah,
pretty pretty much it.
yeah. Okay, well, the game industry continues to not surprise me.
Yeah. Although college football did surprise me. I wouldn't have expected
Yeah,
that to be number 1,
yeah.
but pretty cool.
And I'm even more mad that it was not on the best sports slash racing category.
For real. Come on, Jeff
Yeah.
Keighley, do better.
It's the best selling game of the year, at least in the US. And that's like,
Yeah.
and it was by far better than Madden. And I don't even have to play Madden to know that.
and it doesn't even get a nomination. So
Yeah.
sit down.
It's ridiculous.
We were going to talk about TikTok and Marvel Snap being down, but we kind of already went over everything we know.
Well, I have an update
Update.
that is coming to me live from Jetpack. TikTok is back up.
Is it working already?
Yeah.
I had a thing too that said,
I opened
wait a second.
the site on my PC and it immediately started playing a video.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is functioning in some way. I don't know the if it's sticking around or if they came to some sort of agreement. I'm not sure, but as
Well-
of about 10 minutes ago, it was on.
Well, the deadline was tonight, midnight, right?
Yeah, but like I logged into the app last night and it was
Yeah,
already showing a
it
message
already
that
wasn't
said
working. I'm just
TikTok
saying,
is
Trump
not functioning.
Trump isn't president yet. Like he can't just
know.
go start restoring stuff.
Uh,
I guess tomorrow he can. I don't know. It's crazy.
yeah, so I don't.
We live in a
I don't
weird
know.
world, man. Real weird.
Yeah, so we'll see if it sticks around. I don't know if people are still, if you're able to post on it or if it's just
I don't
like
know. It's because earlier when I searched for Marvel Snap, it said something like, "Are you looking for a bite dance game? It's been banned." Yeah, it still says that. Looking for a bite dance game.
I'm not
Downloads
logged in right now.
Downloads for this app are paused due to U.S. legal requirements.
Okay,
Can I?
so you can't download it anymore.
Yeah, TikTok isn't even available to download now.
Okay,
Yeah, TikTok's working. Weird. Weird. Whatever.
yeah. So according to a New York Times article, TikTok is working again in the U.S. just hours after shutting down, and it's thanks to Trump.
Oh boy.
Gross.
Okay, good headline, New York Times.
Yeah, it said, or in like the part of the headline, it said for some users. So I don't know if it's like, I don't know who has access to it. It might just be for current accounts. Like you can't download it again. You can't make a new account.
Yeah.
But
it opened. I was scrolling through videos there for a second. So
yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Well.
Okay.
We'll see what happens with that.
We will see. Well, Jake, we're sitting pretty at the 2-hour mark. You want to save our book updates for next time?
Yeah, maybe we can do a more of a deep dive next episode into what we're reading. By then, I probably will have finished the Scythe series, which I'm excited to talk to you about. I've really enjoyed that.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll definitely get further in the Sword of Destiny too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just we'll call that a pod.
All right.
That was a
Want to
good
get
one.
us out of here?
Yeah, this was a good pod, Jake. Good pod. Real proud of us.
Always a good pod.
Always a good pod. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the A to Jump podcast. I am Justin of Justin Games. He is Gooba of Gooba and Jetpack. And we will see you in the next one.
And as always,
I always forget. Keep
on gaming.
Bye. Take the bread out of the laundry room.
Oh. You want to elaborate on that?
I will not elaborate.